Alien Covenant is directed by Ridley Scott and is the sequel to Prometheus but the prequel to Alien. And in this film, the crew of a ship called the Covenant is heading to a planet to hopefully colonize, but when they find out there's a much closer planet with better vital signs, they decide to go there first. And of course, that was a bad idea, because there's some really horrible shit there. I know I'm definitely in the minority when I say that I love Prometheus. The scientist characters, I could have done without them, but I found that to be a very smart and risky sci-fi movie. It was risky because a lot of people went in expecting xenomorphs, and we didn't get that. And a lot of people complained that there were no xenomorphs, and so this time around, rather than continuing the Prometheus storyline the way they had initially thought, they have decided to mash up Alien and Prometheus, and here these films converge. We finally get some answers about certain things that were left hanging in Prometheus, but for the most part, this is a movie that has a Prometheus-esque feel. There's even some musical themes that are directly from Prometheus, but it's an Alien movie. From the very beginning, you can hear Jerry Goldsmith's score, done by a new person this time around named Jed Kurzel, because obviously Goldsmith has since passed away. But they are going for the Alien feel. Even the way the title comes on the screen is flat out Alien. And so Ridley Scott is dealing with a lot of cool things here, and things that I get really excited about, because not only am I a sucker for movies that involve isolation in space or planets or aliens or things like that, no one directs sci-fi like Ridley Scott. No one. Not only are all of his science fiction films absurdly gorgeous, they are all very bold, and they have a lot to say. It's not just about the alien creature. Even the first Alien, which some could just call a movie about a monster on a ship, had so many more themes just in its art direction, the production design, the pseudo-sexual imagery. Everything about that film is as close to perfect as movies get. And I could talk for days about Blade Runner, the things I didn't like about it, the things I love about it. That's such a thought-provoking movie. And Prometheus, as I said, I found to be a very smart movie. Here in Alien Covenant, he once again has made a gorgeous film. And it's easy to say that and kind of shrug it off, but it's important to realize how much work really goes into making a film this beautiful. Even though there's a lot of CG, a lot of stuff is in camera. You can tell, because Scott is obsessed with getting things in camera. If you ever watch the special features of Prometheus, you'd be blown away at just how much of that movie was not green screen. And here, once again, this film is breathtaking. This is easily one of the most beautiful looking films I've seen all year. There are shots that are still burned into my subconscious, and they're going to stay there forever. It is not a great film, though, and I have problems with it, and a lot of it does have to do with tone. There is definitely a point in which Prometheus converges with Alien, and it's that point that feels off. It's very exciting and fun to watch, and everything looks amazing, and all of the acting is top-notch. But tonally, there's a very dramatic shift in the third act that, while I was excited for it and hoping for it and looking forward to seeing it, it just didn't feel like it was the same movie. Also, Covenant follows essentially the same formula as Alien and Prometheus. There are just different things and really compelling ideas that are sprinkled throughout all three of those films. Basically, all of them are about some people in space who discover something far away and go to explore it. Some really bad shit happens, and then shit hits the fan. And pretty much all three of them, Ridley Scott's films, follow that very similar formula. But gratefully, some of the ideas present in Prometheus are explored more in this film. There's a storyline that I will not spoil because I honestly didn't know about it going in, and so I want you guys to have that same experience. But it involves someone trying to persuade a character into sharing their viewpoint. And I found it utterly fascinating. Easily the most compelling part of the film for me. As I said, I really appreciated the acting, but for myself, the standouts were surprisingly Danny McBride. He was great. And Michael Fassbender. Michael Fassbender really carries this movie in a lot of ways. He has a lot of work to do in this movie, and he owns every second of screen time he's on. And I really can't wait for you guys to see exactly what they do. There are two sequences in this movie that are so white-knuckled, on the level of the cesarean sequence in Prometheus. And it's during those two sequences that I realized that my mouth was slightly agape, and I was just staring at the screen in awe at what I was looking at. And a lot of that has to do with incredible production design, amazing direction, the score, the editing, the performances, the CG. All of it really comes together really well in a few specific key moments to really heighten the intensity level. And thank goodness this is rated R, because there are some bloody sequences that were highly satisfying. So as I said, tonally this movie has some inconsistencies, but since I was such a big fan of Prometheus, I liked a lot of the things they did in this film. The acting is top-notch. Katherine Waterston wasn't bad, but I really didn't have much interest in her character. I can see people watching this and finding the characters rather disposable. Another big issue that I have is that you can pretty much always tell when someone's about to bite the dust. They go that cliched horror route of having someone go off for a smoke break or go take a shower, and it's just so obvious that they're about to become the prime target of the xenomorph, and I found that rather disappointing too. So tonally, some of the script decisions and that third act felt off to me. But overall, I really enjoyed watching Alien Covenant, and I think it's probably the third or fourth best Alien film. I'm going to give Alien Covenant a B. Guys, thank you so much, as always, for watching. Please do check out my Alien series. I have reviewed every film from the first all the way to AVP2 Requiem. That was fun. I'm going to leave a playlist link for that in a second here. You guys can check that out. And special thanks to Brandon and Ryan. I met you guys at the screening tonight. It was really cool meeting you. Thank you so much for coming up to me. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And if you like this, you can click right here and get stuckmanized.